Hi there, guys. Welcome to another podcast for It's Football, Not Soccer. And today we're just going to look at the Premier League review. We're going to focus on a couple of important matches. My name's Jack. I'm here with Top 8 and Michael. And right, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just going to kick things off with the big victory. It's Arsenal over Man United. 3-0, guys. Can we believe it?
I did think Arsenal would win, but I thought it'd be a close 2-1, maybe 1-0. I certainly wasn't expecting that first half hour, or first 5-10 minutes, 2-0 so quickly, and then Sanchez basically killed the game off within 30 minutes.
It was a great
Considering
goal.
Man United, how good they've been defensively this year, and how at times Arsenal have struggled at home in breaking teams down. It's one of those, it completely went against what I was thinking.
It was definitely an off the wall sort of thing. So come on, Top 8, tell us what you thought.
I just think that this is the first time this season that our defence has really been tested by attacking quality. And yeah, they were just quick off the blocks. We were, chasing shadows really. So it was very disappointing. I don't think we were expecting Arsenal to come at us so quick. But like I said, I think this is the first time that our back four had really been tested. And yeah, I have to say that Arsenal were amazing with Ozil, Carzola, Walcott, and obviously Sanchez as well. And it had me thinking actually, just like Anthony Martial and Depay, just watching that, and I just thought they might be thinking, I wish I could play for a team like that, as foreign.
What?
As foreign. No, because Martial, he's French.
Yeah, Monaco. Yeah.
Monaco. Arsenal must be the club like a young French player wants to play for
In the Prem.
In the Prem.
If it's not Newcastle.
Yeah. And then just Martial as well, because obviously Martial, he's his top prospect, and he must have thought when he comes to United they're going to be playing some great football, and we haven't been playing great football. Do you know that goal that Matt scored?
Yeah.
I don't like to see that kind of football. I'd rather watch what Arsenal did to us. That kind of football.
It was slightly more direct.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it had me thinking that. But at the end of the day, we're third place. We were first. No one's expecting us to win the league. And
well, that's true.
I still think it's a good start for Man United to the season. If you said that you're going to be third on 16 points after 8 games, I think
not 17th on 8.
Exactly.
A lot of people are going to.
I think the only thing is that we've got the international break now, and then we've got Everton next as well, so it's going to be a difficult game. So yeah.
Personally, I didn't see sort of all the highlights. I just heard that Sanchez sort of had another great game after scoring a hat-trick in his previous one. He's really starting to hit the form.
Yeah, I think he struggled at the start coming back from international, was it Copa America? I think he looked a bit fatigued. He wasn't 100% where he was last year, but I think he's worked his way back into fitness, back into form, and I think we've seen the Sanchez of last season, unfortunately.
And also, what I wanted to say as well, this is what Arsenal should have done against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago.
This is what this is what you thought.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember before even these podcasts started, me and Michael were saying before the start of the season, Arsenal are going to be amazing, this season. Do you know what I mean? Because they've got Czech now, their attacking core,
Czech had a good game.
You've got Ramsey, Wilshere, Carzola. And then you got Ozil, you got Sanchez, you got Giroud. They have the best squad in the Premiership, without a doubt. Manchester City have the best starting 11, but Arsenal, in terms of squad, in terms of their 25 man
still look
squad,
at their defence.
I think they have the best. Yeah, I do.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. So, do you think after this victory, they'll kick on, potentially,
I do. Yeah.
Chance to win the league?
I definitely think they'll. Well, at the start of the season, even though I hate to admit it, I backed Arsenal to win the league.
Really?
So, and every team's going to have slip-ups. I think Arsene Wenger said in his press conference, he said a team can't perform at the highest level 38 games of the year. I think it's just unfortunate that against Chelsea, they probably had one of their worst performances, which is, maybe it was the opposition, maybe it was a bit mental. But
it's probably a psychological thing.
Well.
But,
this is it, yeah.
But
exactly.
I think now that Arsenal got 2 weeks off, they can look at it and think, not been a bad start, the second in the league, and I think they'll kick on now. And I think they'll also kick on in the Champions League. I think
But
This
I'm
was-
I disagree. No. I think
No,
it's already done.
I still think they'll qualify from the Champions League group.
That is,
Nah.
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
I think no,
So they got 2 games against Bayern
Back to
Munich
back.
consecutively, and you think what? How many points do you think they can get out of those 2 games?
I don't even think if they can get a point, they can qualify.
They wouldn't have
One
been the
point out of
first.
the 2 games.
They would not have been the first team to beat Bayern at the Allianz Arena.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think they'll beat Zagreb at home. I think they'll beat Olympiacos away, and then
that might not even be enough.
I actually don't think they'll beat Olympiacos, to be honest.
and I think I wouldn't.
I think it's
Honestly,
a psychological thing in the Champions League.
it wouldn't
Whatever
surprise.
happens,
It wouldn't
it's-
surprise me if they picked saying couple. I think they can beat Bayern. Personally, I think Bayern are a very good team, but the way they played yesterday, if they can just get in their heads that they can, if they play like that, they can beat anyone.
That's
For
the
me,
Premiership,
that-
though.
I was going to say, but for me, that is just like sort of how they played in the Charity Shield. And it's sort of like a couple of games they'll turn up and they'll do that. And even when Sanchez got his hat trick the weekend before, it's like some games they'll just switch on.
Exactly.
But it's too inconsistent.
And I think I think that's the Premiership as well. The Premiership and the Champions League are 2 different.
Well,
Look
yeah,
at- yeah,
and I
no,
think
definitely.
Bayern have been so strong in domestically in the Champions League as well. I think they'll be lucky to get a point out of the 2 games.
I'm with Tope on that. Yeah, I can't see him making.
I guess
it
it's
out of the
another one of
groups.
those we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Of course,
I
of
think
course we will. Yeah.
I personally think that Arsenal will over the next couple of months have a good period domestically and abroad.
And yeah, so can I just say, what do you think about my Arsenal having the best squad in the Premiership? Do you guys agree? Who do you think is?
I don't actually.
I
No, I
per-
don't agree.
I personally-
because the defence.
I'd personally rather have the Manchester City squad, but I don't think there's a lot of difference.
But you
As
know,
a
with
Chelsea
Man
fan,
City,
I'd
they've got
probably-
this.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
they've got this
the main reason is we're going to get onto it, probably maybe even next.
Yeah.
Aguero. I think with Arsenal, Giroud's a good player, Walcott's a good player. Probably between them, they'll probably get 30 goals this season.
That's
Where
good.
Aguero will probably get that on his own with the backup of De Bruyne, who's scoring every game. Silva.
Bonnie.
I know Sanchez is obviously going to back the other two up, but I think there's more goals in the
Yeah,
Man
I
City
know.
team.
That's the
And-
first
and the
11. though.
defence.
But if you like, okay, apart from the first 11, who's replacing Aguero?
Bonnie.
Yeah.
Who, to be fair, has not really hit it at
Exactly.
City.
Like who's
agree with
replacing like a Fernando, like Fernandinho or Yaya Toure? Have they got the
Yeah, but then if you
replacements on
look
the
at
bench?
Arsenal's midfield, if they
Yeah.
have Coquelin or
They've got
Cazorla
Arteta.
You
injured,
could do that with
yeah,
the
but
Arsenal
Arteta,
team, though.
Firmini,
You
are they
can
better
do.
than
Look at their
Fernando?
defence. So
You
if
can
you
do
get
that
rid
with
of Mertesacker and Koscielny, who are they bringing in?
You got
Gabriel.
Paulista, Gabriel Paulista,
And Chambers?
Yeah, and
Well, I
Chambers.
think
Don't rate
personally,
Chambers at all.
if Mangala or company got injured, I think Otamendi he'll only get better.
I think
and
in
personally,
the defensively,
I even think
altogether.
Di Michaelis I think is a better defender than Chambers as well.
Yeah, but
even though
obviously
it's-
Chambers is young though. He's
Yeah, but,
only
but you said
But
who's going to
Arsenal
come
bought
in?
him, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I think squads. I think with the 25-man squad, I think Arsenal squad.
Well,
is,
then maybe that's Arsene Wenger not utilising the squad in the right games to win the games that you should, if that's how you feel.
yeah. But and I do think my last point, if Arsenal had a striker like Aguero,
Of course,
he
yeah.
would take
Oh, yeah,
it to the
but-
next level.
Oh,
He's
Well,
there with-
Aguero would take any team.
Yeah.
Aguero would take Real Madrid or Barcelona to
Yeah, but it's
another
not even
level.
just Aguero. I think
Yeah.
they just need.
We'll move on. We'll
Yeah.
move on to the next. I wouldn't say I call it a scout because Southampton have just been brilliant in the last few games. 3-1 at Stamford Bridge.
Well, he's a scout. Even though they've been playing well and Chelsea
Yeah,
haven't, it's still a scout. Man, Chelsea generally don't lose at home, and Southampton have gone there and they've made easy work of
made
it.
Chelsea look like a bunch of mugs. And to be fair, this season that's what we are. We've been terrible, but take nothing away from how Southampton played.
Yeah.
They were quick. They were
Well,
just on the move.
Mane was impressive.
Exactly. When I saw that game, I was like, I hope we get Mane.
He is
amazing.
He
He's
is
amazing.
really good. But even Pella, who's sort of like he's inconsistent, but like that guy, he was brilliant. And that third goal he scored,
He will.
completely
It's
finished us off.
rare you see it, but he bullied John Terry and Cahill. Two big guys got bullied by Pele that game.
But it was for me, it was like Mourinho's insistence on sticking with Ivanovic.
Did you see what?
It was just
What's his name? Tadic.
Tadic.
Oh
What he
my
done to him. Yeah. Well, you could look at like vines of Montero. Like loads of different left wingers who have done that to him this season, but he sticks with his players and it's just not paying off.
The one thing I would say is, I accept that he's not playing well this year, but for the last how many seasons has he been so consistent at Chelsea?
Yeah,
I think you got to surely cut
he was
a
in
little bit of a break.
the European Team of the Year last season.
Yeah, I know,
He was
but
the only Premier League player to make it.
Even though he's done well, he's not doing well in the
He
current
should have
season.
been
I think
dropped.
he needs to be at the line of fire.
But this is what I said about Chelsea at the start of the season. They, especially in their defence, they haven't got a lot of strength in depth.
Yeah.
If they take Ivanovic out, fair enough, not playing well, take him out. Who you're going to probably move Azpilicueta to the right, then you're going to bring in an untested left back who's very young and who's
Baba Rahman, he may be untested in the Prem, but from what I saw of him in the Champions League in that game, it was against Maccabi to be fair.
Yeah.
But I still think
And
I think he deserves a chance.
We went back to it early when I said Arsenal and Bayern Munich. You said Premiership's different from Champions League.
Yeah.
Playing at home against an Israeli team is much different playing against any Premiership team.
Yeah.
So
That's
so I
true.
think at the moment it's like is there anyone to replace Ivanovic?
What
who's
about
going to
putting
improve it?
Zama there? Because obviously he's got the pace and the strength, maybe not the technical
To play at right
awareness.
back.
Yeah.
If it's not his natural position, I wouldn't feel
I
comfortable
don't
with
think
it.
that he's got
However,
the concentration and
it's a problem for Chelsea. You know, I mean, they put Terry in the team. Everyone thinks Terry needs to play in the team because we're conceding from corners. Fair enough. You take Zoma out of the team, you've got no one to help Ivanovic at right back because Cahill is far too slow to be trying to cover for Ivanovic because he's playing.
I think there's no right answers at the moment. I think sometimes when you look at teams who aren't playing well, you think, oh, this just do this and it might improve, or you've got some injuries when they come back. I think Chelsea, from going to defensively solid one year to what they are now, I don't think, and Mourinho, top manager, struggling as well. He can't put his finger in it. He's changing the centre back pairing. He doesn't know. I think Chelsea just going to have to keep.
He brought him on half time. 23 minutes later, took him off.
I think Chelsea are going to just have to keep playing, and they'll eventually play their way out into form. And I think they will. I'm not saying I don't think they'll win the league now. It's going to be too difficult. But they'll play their way into form, and they'll move up the table sooner rather than later. I think what Mourinho's done right, just he's got to stick with his trusted 11, and they will start picking up results.
This is what he does. But again, I want to just move back to Southampton and tell me about a couple of the players that you thought sort of had a good game.
Well, definitely Mane.
Mane,
so quick, and even his tactical awareness, his passes as well. He was just a thorn in Chelsea's side, and he is. Because I never quite understood why we went for him after we shunned Pedro, but after seeing that performance, 30 million, I don't mind.
I agree, but I also want to look at the other end of the pitch and the defensive pairing of Font and Van Dijk.
I'm really impressed
Van
with
Dijk
him.
looks like a very good signing, and Font
good.
has been he's going to have another consistent season, and like he has for the last 2 seasons. And I think then I never heard anything apart from when Falcao went through. And to be fair,
no, he died. That was.
Well, I'm not sure
if
you saw the game earlier in the day. If you saw the Crystal Palace Zaha's penalty, there was exactly the same. Zaha was going over and when he got hit and he got a penalty.
I'm a Chelsea fan. That was not a penalty because Mourinho brought it up in that whole 7 minute. That whole 7 minute thing when Southampton had 2 proper clear-cut penalties turned out. So
how does that make you feel as a Chelsea fan that this guy is just talking for 7 minutes and we can all see on the TV that it was not a penalty? He dived.
I'm to be honest, I would. It was just about basically
the referees.
Not the referees. It was everyone's against us. Like
give us a break.
When we're losing, everyone wants us to lose, and when we're winning, everyone wants us to lose, and it's just like creating that sort of siege mentality again. And it's just like, why can't you just own up and say Southampton on their day were brilliant?
Well, it's not working now, is
rubbish.
it? Yeah, I think people are wising up to it, and I think in the talking after the game, people gave a lot of credit to Southampton. I think that basically it was embarrassing when he going on about Chelsea should have had a penalty. When you're right, it wasn't a penalty. It wasn't. And then when they said, "What about Southampton? Do you think they could have had a couple of penalties?" I prefer not to comment.
That was absolutely
that's embarrassing. I think lots of people from now on. I think they've had enough of Mourinho.
I was going to say, I think he's past the point,
and he's come out with some comments now saying, "If the players want me to go, I'll go." I think he's even doubting himself.
Yeah, I think he's.
I don't think that. Recently, like he's recent as today, he's had the backing of the club. John Terry, the player who's been dropped for like the last 3 or 4 games, has come out and publicly backed Mourinho and said, "There's no infighting, there's nothing going on in the dressing room. We all back Mourinho."
Yeah, but you would say that.
Yeah, exactly.
You would never
You're
say
not
that.
gonna
You
say
He
that.
could have said nothing. He could have not said anything, which
Yeah,
is
but I
more
think
likely
as
from a player
As
that's
a
been
captain,
dropped.
it's your responsibility to come out and try and calm it down and reassure the
There's
fans.
plenty of times that wouldn't have happened.
So, but yeah,
So for him to come out and publicly back him like that, and
It's
Chelsea have now done it.
Mourinho needs backing.
He needs.
you know what I mean?
No, he
It's like-
does. Absolutely, he does.
I think he's come out and said it because he knows it's needed to be said. He wouldn't.
Yeah.
There's going to be speculation.
Even if he doesn't believe it, like he might not be 100% happy, but he will. He's Chelsea through and through. He's going to come out, and if he thinks, if I come out and say this, it's going to benefit, it might boost the fans' morale, it will give a bit more reassurance to the squad. He's going to come out and say it because he's a great captain.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to move on to the final game. It was Aston Villa. Michael, do you want to talk us through?
Yeah, I thought this was an interesting topic because a lot of people were focusing on the top of the league, but maybe it's at the bottom of the league where you've got to be looking, because Aston Villa, good start to the season, winning away from home against Bournemouth, but since then, I think in 7 games, I think they picked up 1 point, and losing at home to Stoke is, if you're a team who wants to do well in the league, even though I think Stoke are a good and improving team, you've got to win those games. So they've got hard fixtures coming up, and they've got, I know Chelsea aren't playing the greatest, but they've got Chelsea away. They've got some difficult games. I think they've got Spurs away coming up. I think either one of the Manchester teams or Arsenal. I know they've got 3 hard games in the next 4 fixtures. I think
Tim Sherwood's got a job on
he's
his
got.
hands,
He's got a
I'm
few
just-
problems.
Go on.
I'm just tired of the talk because Tim Sherwood has said that it's going to be another year of transition because we're bringing in young players through, and that was the same with Paul Lambert. He was bringing all these young players
absolutely.
through, and it's just like, Martin O'Neill was there. They were challenging him for top 4. You know what I mean? They were when they had Ashley Young, James Milner, John Carew, and it's so funny now because at that time the fans were angry when they came 6th, and now,
mate, for any Aston Villa fans listening, I'm sorry, but I don't get you. I don't get them at all because during Martin O'Neill's reign, they were unhappy about the situation.
Exactly.
Paul Lambert, all right, he did not do the best, but they were really gunning him. And I think the same will unfortunately happen to Tim Sherwood if results carry on like this. And I can't see it getting any better. 'Cause I don't think their squad's good enough. I really don't. I don't think the buys they've had have been very decent.
Yeah, but I think they've bought some players where, firstly, for example, Gusted, he might be a good player, but I think he's a championship player. I think that's his level. Good championship player. They bought some foreign players in.
Adama from Barcelona was, he looks like
they're all unproven, like most players are. You bring in, they're all unproven, and I think what he needed to do was to bring in some proven players. He did bring in Michael Richards. He did bring in Joe Nescott, and that might shore up their defence hopefully. But they need some more proven players in front of them.
That surprised me that he didn't maybe look to Spurs and look at some of their sort of youngsters and get a couple of loan, or look at Stephen Corker. Just players like that he previously worked with at Spurs.
Maybe they would. Well, he might not have been available. He might have put a bid in, but Corker went to Southampton.
Yeah.
He might have, as a player, you think, where do I want to go? Do I want to go to a team like Southampton who are playing well on the up, or do I want to go to Aston Villa who, for the last 3-4 years, have been lucky to survive? So,
True.
But I think the next probably 8 to 10 games leading up to Christmas are massive for Tim Sherwood. If he doesn't pick up results, I think it could turn sour very quickly.
Yeah.
And it isn't good with that owner situation, Randy Lerner.
Yeah,
he wants to sell it, doesn't he? He's been wanting to sell the club for years now. So all that uncertainty doesn't make Aston Villa a very
appealing
option. Yeah. So testing times. I think personally, obviously it's early in the season. I think they will escape relegation, but they're not progressing really. So we'll wait and see.
Another wait and see. Personally, I think they're on the relegation radar as well. Depends if Watford keep up what they're doing. And now I just want to do a special mention for a player that scored 5 goals. Sergio Aguero, Man City 6-1 against Newcastle. What do we think?
Well,
pretty impressive.
He's joined an elite group, hasn't he? I think he's only the 5th or 6th player to score 5 goals in a game. But what was upsetting more was he got substituted after about 60, 70 minutes. He got sub. I know they want to try and protect him because he is one of those players who he has muscle injuries and it could go any minute, I guess. But you'd think international break coming up, and he's going to be travelling. You think, you know what, see if he can get 6, then take him off. And to be honest, even if he got a slight niggle, Man City fans might be thinking, well, we'll just keep him wrapped up for 2 weeks and then bring him back in 2 weeks' time.
I don't really see how that makes much sense. Personally, I'd done exactly the same thing. I mean, I'm not manager. I'm championship manager 2008 maybe, but I would have subbed him as soon as he got maybe 4 or 5 because the game is essentially, it would be over at 4, you would think. So for him to have scored 3 or 4 by then,
maybe I'm just a bit more sentimental.
And like you said, he is sort of subject to a lot of injuries and like niggling hamstrings and stuff like that. So I would have definitely got him off as
from
early
a
as
manager's
possible.
point of view, it was the right decision. But from a footballing point of view, anyone who wasn't a Newcastle or Man United fan that day wanted to see him stay on the pitch and score 2 hat-tricks in a game. It's never been done in the Premiership. Like, he's a top player.
He is
quality,
and he probably would.
History.
He probably would have done it as well.
Yeah.
But you know, for Man City and Pellegrini, it was absolutely right. And Aguero said it himself after the game. The manager was right to sub me. I think he's absolutely spot on. Because say he stayed on for a bit longer, he did score the goal, and then say worse comes worse, someone breaks his leg, and then you think, why'd you keep him on? You would regret it so much.
I think also because Boney hasn't been playing well.
Yeah.
You know, they're 5-1 up. Let me sub Aguero. Let me
give him some
Boney a
game
chance.
time.
Yeah, but give him
could
also give him an opportunity to form a little partnership and play them together.
Yeah, I know.
I
think Man City won't do that because
I was going to say they made a mistake
because of Silva and De Bruyne. Then you can't.
But if one or two of them ever get any injuries and they have to play together.
They've also made the mistake of doing that in the past. Like last season, they played a lot of 4-4-2 at home against the lower teams. It did work. They tried it against Bayern. They got absolutely slated for it. So I don't think it's worth the risk. And you look at the players they've taken out of the team now. Dzeko and Jovetic both gone out on loan. So to me, it seems like they are definitely playing with one on top.
Yeah. And when you play that 4-4-2, then it leaves Silva wide. It leaves Sterling wide or De Bruyne.
Or De Bruyne,
you know what I mean? So,
and that's it, guys. Let us know your thoughts as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.